we're gonna start out with stretching yoga, and it's gonna be 30 minutes. We're gonna start out in down dog, which is a really good stretch for our legs and our back. And we're gonna go into a variety of really good stretches for the hips, the legs, even the arms. So good morning, it's morning time here, and we'll go ahead and start out. If you want, why don't we come down to tabletop? It's a nice easy way to start out, and then we'll raise up to down dog. Come on up. You want to have your hips up in the air, your feet stretching out, your head down between your arms. And I don't like to hold this too long because it can hurt your wrist, but we're going to kind of come back and forth into pigeon, which also really stretches out our hips. So if you can just take one leg up in the air, your right leg, bring it open up your hip. Come on down slowly, bring your right knee to your right wrist, drop your left leg all the way back. And we're just gonna sit here in pigeon for a few minutes to really stretch out the hip, really open up the hip. This is probably one of the best positions you can do in yoga to get a good hip opener. And you bring your leg up a little bit, so it's at about a 45-degree angle. And just if you can bring your head down as far as you can rest it on your hands. And just kind of breathe into that right hip, and you'll start to feel the release. Give it a few breaths. We'll come back into down dog, and we'll go back into the other side of pigeon. But I need everyone to sit here for another minute at least, to really get a good stretch in. We shouldn't hurry through this. I can start to feel it. The more I sit into it, the more I can feel the stretch. For me, it's morning time, which is kind of nice to do yoga. I like have a cup of coffee and then move into it. Let's come on up into down dog. Stretch out our legs. Bring your left knee up to your left wrist. Bring your foot out and bring your right leg as far back as you can, and put your foot down on the ground and just lie down into this one. After this, we're going to follow with some seated stretches to really keep stretching out the hips. So this will really be the first one. The next one we'll do is the head to knee pose. It gives you another really great stretch. This is probably one of the best ones, I think. And easiest to do, so you just sort of sit into it and relax yourself. If you can move I just sort of cup my hands and put my head down. come up into down dog one more time. And then we're gonna pedal our feet. And come on down to tabletop. And then turn to the side. And we're gonna come down into a head to knee pose. This is another good stretch for both your hip and your legs and your arms. So you're gonna take your left leg, tuck it in to your right thigh, and we're gonna come down as far as you can. Hold on to your right leg. Come down as far as you can towards your right knee. At first, you might not be able to come down very far, but you will over time. So I'm gonna just do the best I can. And try and, if you wanna release a little bit and then come down again, just don't push it too hard. So you're gonna feel a stretch here in the left leg, and mostly that's where it's gonna be, this leg. Again, we wanna really hold these poses this morning. Come on up, put your left leg out straight, fold your right leg into your inner right thigh. Now you're gonna feel this on your right outer hip. And then, so one hip might be a lot tighter than the other hip. It's harder for me to get down on this hip for sure. I can only bend over a little. This is the hip, for me, that really needs it. So I'm just gonna gently kind of push down a little bit here on my right, and then just gently bend into the left leg. We're gonna do this one 2 more times on each side, so we can try and get a really gentle stretch here. The left leg. You don't have to rush into these, just, gently one at a time. Go back to the left leg, bent into all the way up to your inner thigh, really high up. We're gonna do this one, we'll finish on this side, and then we'll do this one more time, and then we're gonna go into the wide-legged seated stretch. So just gently come in here. Hang on to your leg. Try to keep your back straight as you bend over so that you're not all hunched over, like I think I just was. Just try to come down gently, straight. we have one more on the other side. And then we'll switch into the wide leg forward fold. And this is definitely going to be a slow stretch morning. Sometimes I just kind of skip the stretching or the yoga for a few days, and then I get back to it, and my hip always feels a lot better. Okay, now what I want you to do is spread your legs as wide as you can. And we're going to bend forward. And the best way to do it is to come all the way forward if you can. But if you can't, you just come as far forward as you can get. I mean, ideally you'd like to get your whole body down to the floor. I cannot do that. But this, you're gonna feel here is gonna be your inner thighs. So we just did the outer thighs. Now we're gonna do the inner thighs. And this is just as important as the outer thighs. Sometimes, like if you have like a little bit of a limp because your hip hurts or a lot of times it's because you need to stretch out your legs, your calves. And if you keep them stretched out, usually your walking will stay a lot better. And this one, I can feel this one really big in here. Oh, okay, I gotta bring my legs in, hug them. I'm gonna go back out. I like to do them enough and sit long enough in these stretches to really make a difference. So again, try to keep your back somewhat straight. If you can come to your elbows, that's great. Wherever you can get. You just want to feel the stretch on the inner thigh. If you have to bend your legs like this, and that's easier, you can do that. But I would try and keep them straight out, and then just bend where you can. Come on up, give your legs a hug. It feels good to arch my back. We're going to go into that one more time. And after that, we're going to stay seated and we're going to do a rotated head to knee, so more twisting. Come on back up. You can bring your legs in straight. And we're going to put your right leg over your left leg like this. You're going to take your left arm over your right knee, pushing your right knee as far as you can. And then I want you to look back and to bring your hand back on your right as far as you can, and then sit into this twist. this one you're gonna feel it again on your outer hip. You should feel this on your right outer hip. We just went from, we did the first one was Pigeon, which was your outer hips. And then we went into the inner thighs. And this is again the outer hip. Come on back around. Bring your right leg down straight. Bring your left leg over the right leg and the right arm over the left leg and twist. As far back as you're comfortable, and if you can look back too, because it helps to twist your neck. And it's like a sponge getting twisted in the middle. And I get to look out the window at kind of a major street here. Not major, but 2 lanes. So there's always some traffic out here. Which is nice. I actually like seeing some things happening, going on. Okay. Oof. Let's try that one more time. And then I want to do a bent leg twist. So we're really going to work on the hips and the stretching here. So take your left leg over your right again. Take your arm to push it out and look back as far as you can. Might be a little bit easier for you. And you want to, this one you want to keep your foot active. The foot that's the long leg. So you're bending your toes up. Legs again. Put your right over your left, your right elbow right into your right knee to push it open, and then to turn all the way back around and get a good twist in your back. So you're going to feel this in your outside thigh, plus you'll feel a twist in your back, which is really good for your back. It's good to use it and to twist it and bend it like in the arch or doing the back arch. Okay. This one, I want to try one more thing. We're going to fold our leg. Left leg here, right leg over the left, so you're going to feel more of a stretch here. We're going to still twist, harder twist, and so this is basically a bent leg seated twist. Same thing, but your leg is not straight, so you're going to feel a much bigger pull in your right hip. Super good for your hips, this one, because this actually extends all the way down your leg. I'd say the last one was more gentle. This one is much better stretch. But we need all of them. We need all the little tiny muscles that are in the different parts of the hip to be stretched out. So each one of these is doing a different little part of the hip. And I can really feel this one. We're going to repeat this. Okay, so let's switch sides. Let's bend the right leg, have the left knee come over, and we'll go into this side. So you're gonna feel it here, but you're also gonna feel it in your right hip. You feel both. We gotta hold these, just gently hold them. And the muscles start to just release. And that's what you want. Because there's also some muscle memory. So when your muscles do this repeatedly every week, they remember how to stretch. And it's not like the first time they've stretched. It basically gets better and easier the more you do it. Okay, we get a switch one more time. Oh, that is hard. Bending my left leg, put my right leg over, and I'm gonna turn around. Okay, we're gonna switch. Do that again. Definitely hurts my right hip, which I think is a really good sign because I'm getting a lot of stretching in. After this one, we're gonna go into the cat-cow, which is, first we're gonna get to tabletop. Okay, gently come out of that one. There's no hurry here. We're going up into tabletop. We're just gonna do cat-cow, which is put your head up, arch your back, and then come on into cat. Check your head, raise your back. This is a good back stretch. Spread your legs a little bit, like hip distance apart. We'll do this a few times. Warm up our backs. Okay, do this another time, one other cycle. And then we're gonna come down to our stomach. We're gonna do the baby cobra. And then the sphinx, maybe the full cobra. So come on down to your stomach. You can rest your head on your hands for a second. This is the last part of the class where we're going to be stretching our back. So put your hands in front of your elbows under your shoulders. And the baby cobra, you want to keep your legs long, stretch them out, keep your feet, your feet down, and just raise your head a little and look down. Take a breath in here. Come on down. Come on up again. Just a little. After we come down, put our head down again. We'll come up into the full cobra. Or just come up to where you feel comfortable. Okay, you can bring your head down. The full cobra is put your hands by your chest. And come up a bit higher. That's all. You don't have to go any further than that. Just get a good little stretch in your back. Try to keep your elbows tucked in. Think of your head being pulled long. And then come on down. We'll go into the full cobra again. Come on up. Okay, come on down. We'll come up to the Sphinx. Put your hands forward. Just raise your head like this. And so your hands are forward, your elbows are under your shoulders, and you're getting a little arch in your back, the different arch than the cobra. All the little different parts of the back too need to be stretched out. After this, we're going to slowly roll over on your back. We're going to first pull your right leg up, put your left leg down, and stretch the leg, the whole leg, if you can get it straight. That's perfect, optimal. Make your foot active. I'm feeling a big stretch in the back of my leg. Just keep it gentle. Raise your other leg. Do the opposite. And bring it towards you just a bit. Okay. Switch to the other leg again. Should be getting a good stretch in here. We've really worked on the hips, and now we're working on the legs, and we've also stretched back. So it's been hips, back, and legs. And again, your lower extremities, your calves, and your thighs, like I can really feel a stretch here in my thigh, is often the culprit of back pain. So you want to always try to do these leg stretches and stretch out your calf. By keeping your foot active, it stretches out the calf and the back of your thigh. Okay, we're going to bring up the next leg, the left leg. Just hold this one. It just takes time to stretch it out. My leg starts shaking, which I think is because it really needs to stretch. Oh, man. Okay, now I want to tuck your knees where your hands can touch your heels. Raise your hips. Put your shoulders, tuck them under a little bit. We're just going to stay here. Stretch out your back, your thighs. This is our last position. Then we're just going to come down and sit in Shavasana just for a few moments. We'll go up one more time. Some of these classes, which I like to do, or some of them are slow stretches because it's really good for you. Really helps you in your day-to-day activities. Again, if you'd like to subscribe, that would be great. Come on down. If you want to raise your feet towards happy baby, it feels nice. It's like an opposite stretch. It feels good. You can roll back and forth a little bit if you want to. You don't have to sit still. And then you can release your feet. Extend your hands up. Get a good stretch in. Just take a few breaths here. Okay, if you want to roll to your side or just come on up in a seated position. Thank you very much for coming and joining this class. I appreciate it, and it's a great thing to get me to do my yoga, plus I'm hoping it's really helping others get a good stretch in. A really needed hip, leg, back stretch release with these yoga poses. Okay, bring your left foot in front now. I like to, or whatever foot you put in front first, just switch it out. Thank you so much for coming.